Squirm is a toon who at first glance is just sad, nervous, and anxious, but after pouring hours of my time into investigating him, I realized Squirm isn't just sad. He's tragic. Howdy hyperspace, I'm Quasar. For today's video, we're doing a full lore breakdown on Squirm because my goodness, does this little bookworm deserve it. Part 1. Who is Squirm? Well, when it comes to Squirm, there is actually so much to look into. And while I have a huge theory that's far beyond the scope of this video, we are going to start with who he is as a character and save the book stuff for later, because frankly, that doesn't define him. So who exactly is Squirm the bookworm? First thing that feels important to look at is his interactions and information card. He acts and is described as meek, anxious, and nervous, all of which make it harder to do things, but despite that, he still always does his best. Unlike some toons, Squirm is actually very clear about what he teaches kids. That lesson, of course, being, even if you're worried or anxious, always try your best. So Squirm's a shy little sad guy, but it's way more than that. Interactions such as glisten, we see this. Before I read that interaction though, if at any point during this video you feel like you're learning or enjoying the content, then consider subscribing. I would appreciate it a ton, and of course, you literally don't have to do it. I appreciate you watching the video either way. Squirm, I can't handle this all. I'm a failure. Glisten. Oh, come now, Squirm. You're not a failure. You're being far too hard on yourself. Squirm continues this interaction by calling Glisten perfect. Squirm is doing more than just being nervous here. We see him compare himself to someone he thinks is perfect, as well as calling him a failure. He's doing more than just being sad. He is actively putting himself down. Squirm is also shown to be sad because of his constant crying. Why does he act like this? He says everything is awful. In Box's interaction, of course, we have I've never had many friends when he talks with Connie and the sniffle. Shrimpo's right. When Shrimpo trashes on him, and he cries when Yada calls him a book eater. Speaking of eating books, it seems like I've set up the perfect segue into part 2. Book eater. Okie dokie. Time to get into the real meat of his getaway. It's time to get into the pages of lore we have on this little wriggler. That's better. So remember Brighton's book club from the last video I made, which you totally watched because you're subscribed, right? Well, Squirm was a part of that. You heard that right, he was a part of the book club. That's because in one of the conversations Squirm and Brightney have, it stated that Squirm was kicked from the book club. Just give this a little look-see. Squirm, Brightney, I was wondering, do you think I could rejoin the book club? Brightney, I'm not sure I can allow for that. You know why you were removed from the club. That's just the first bit of this interaction. We'll get into why he got kicked out in a bit. Before I do that, let's read the rest of this dialogue. Squirm, I know. Brightney, aw, don't cry, Squirm. The choice is for your own good. We all really care about you.
Squirm, I know.
So, let's talk about Squirm's book-eating addiction. HALT! Without a doubt, Squirm stress eats. He has a stress ball because he is stressed all the time. He is told not to eat books when stressing, and his ability is quite literally called distressed delicacies. But stress eating is not actually an addiction. See, addiction is more, you need a lot of this specific thing constantly. Eating disorders are more about eating to help subside an issue. Now, let's ask ourselves, what is Squirm dealing with here? Does he eat because it's helping him feel better, or does he eat because he can't handle himself around books? The answer is both. See, what Squirm has can be considered both an addiction and an eating disorder. He eats because it makes him feel less nervous. We'll get into that soon, don't worry. But he also eats books because he is addicted to them. Remember what I said about Brightney's book club earlier? We'll get into why he got kicked out in a bit. Well, it's been a bit. Squirm was kicked because he ate the books in the book club. Seeing as he wants back in, it is without a doubt an activity that makes him feel comfortable. So despite not being stressed, he still ate the books. Him not having control over himself by books is also seen in his text when you use his ability. Both of the two things he says when you use it support it being an addiction and an eating disorder. Now that we know about these things and can confidently differentiate between the two of them, it is time for part 3. I said it's time for part 3. It is time for part 3. There is no hope. Sad face. So why does Squirm have the problems that he has? From the eating disorder to the addiction. Well, the reason is as sad as it is familiar. See, I've discovered exactly why Squirm acts like this, and, well, it's all his fault. And I'm not talking about Squirm. Who is he then? You might be wondering, and I'm going to tell you in about 87 seconds. Let's think back to the start of the video. Remember Squirm's information card? Nibbling on books, being nervous and such? Well, those character traits work for a character, but give them to a living being being, and that's not the best stuff to deal with. What we want to deal with is who is the him I brought up earlier. Well, when Squirm and Flutter are talking, we actually find out about a him. This interaction gets really interesting really fast, so pay attention. Flutter. Squirm. I know, Flutter. I thought so too. Flutter. Squirm. I know, but he said I'm a bookworm, so I must be a bookworm. Flutter. Squirm. Sorry, Flutter. Maybe we can spend some time together after this. There is so much about this interaction that I wish I could get into right now, but for today, we have more important matters about Squirm. I am, however, very excited to share what I found about this. That's going to be a separate video. It's going to take a bit longer, so please subscribe for that video. I promise you, you do not want to miss it. That one Squirm interaction where he says, but he said I'm a bookworm, so I must be a bookworm. This is the tragedy of this video. Who is this person that Squirm is referring to? Who exactly is he? Shockingly, we do have the answer, and it's the only other person that has called Squirm a bookworm. Of course being the man in charge of most of the writing of the show, and the only person we know could be behind writing the information cards. Arthur Walton. The toons were meant to be cartoon characters, not real living beings. They weren't meant to live, but rather teach children lessons that help them with life. Hence why Squirm is stuck in an endless cycle of wanting to change himself, wanting to be better, but he can't. He can't because he wasn't made with that in mind, and when he became real, so did all of his problems. He was made to be something, not someone. And honestly, that is far more tragic than anyone first would have thought. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. I really hope you liked my breakdown of Squirm as a character. Please click one of the videos on screen. They're the ones YouTube thinks you'll like the most, and I would be very grateful. Speaking of things I'd be grateful for, I would be very grateful if you checked out muffinthief. She's the one that not only designed this character that's been representing me the whole video, but she also made the PNGs for me, and a huge thanks to you as always. With that being said, I'm sorry to say this, but that is all of the time we have. Please don't do anything stupid.